Morning, the families of the victims are grieving as they wait for answers about what happened. Crown 4's Sara Stinson joining us live at the scene now of that shooting this morning with the latest on what we know so far about the investigation. Sarah.
James, this scene here is a stark difference from yesterday. It's a lot calmer. We're a lot closer to the scene. We know 57-year-old Cassidy, he killed 9 of his co-workers. He went into the scene here to his workplace and decided to shoot up where he works, and it is a tragedy. It is something that all of the families are mourning, and we want to give you the very latest. So joining us now is the Santa Clara County Sheriff, Laurie Smith. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. I know you probably haven't slept much, but unfortunately overnight we learned that we had 8 people who died, and then the 9th victim died in the hospital. Just so tragic.
Absolutely tragic. Everyone is touched by this, including members of our department. It's very difficult for everyone.
And it was so tough yesterday. I mean, the scene broke out. You guys went in there when there was shots fired. This is a block away from your sheriff's office. Tell me, how hard it was to get in the scene and then all the steps after that, because I know it was just a long process of everything between the coroner and then, finding, bomb material, stuff like that.
Yeah, what was immediate was the response into the building, and shots were still being fired when our team with San Jose Police entered, and within a matter of minutes confronted the suspect. And when our deputies confronted the suspect, he took his own life.
Yeah, 57-year-old Samuel Cassidy, he's an employee here, and he decided to go in there and shoot up his employees or his fellow employees. And I know it's hard to know why something like this would happen. It's so senseless, but that's probably what you're trying to figure out today.
We are. We're looking for motive. I don't know that anything would ever justify it. He's a coward. He took a cowardly act. And again, we, and I know you do, feel so bad for all the victims, the innocent victims in this.
Yeah, you said one of the victims is a relative of one of your colleagues?
Yes, someone with the sheriff's office, his nephew was killed, and it's touching everyone in this very large community, but many people in our community.
Describe what happened. You had to go in while there were shots fired, but after that you had to kind of retreat, bring the bomb squad, bring a bomb squad dog, a canine in there. Tell me about that.
So as soon as the threat was neutralized and we were able to extricate victims, because we treated this as an active shooter but also a rescue operation, that's why we were able to get 2 people to the hospital. Fire goes into the warm zone even though the suspect is still shooting, so we can try to save people. Unfortunately, we were not, but the tactics were amazing. After that happened, we were able to slow the event down, be very methodical on the processing of the crime scene, and there was also a fire almost simultaneously at the suspect's house.
Yeah, Samuel Cassidy is suspected of starting a fire at his house, but it happened almost simultaneously. Is that something you're trying to figure out?
Yes, San Jose Police Department is doing that scene. Obviously, our detectives are in close contact, and we're really coordinating efforts. We got the initial call here at the VTA yard at 6:34 a.m. and the fire came out at 6:37. So perhaps he had a device that started it. That's the theory I'm operating on right now, but we still have a lot to learn.
And what type of materials were found here at the VTA rail yard once you were able to go inside?
So we took our bomb dogs in, and they were able to alert on a locker, which turned out to be the suspect's locker. And in it were precursor things to making explosives, no actual device. And I know at the scene of his house, I know additional things were found, but you'll have to get that from San Jose Police. I'm sure that they're still actively investigating what happened at the home.
Yeah, they found ammunition, some very scary materials for bombs and stuff like that. And where are you at today? I mean, we're at a point where families are still grieving. They're trying to figure out, what else happened. What's next in your investigation?
You know, the crime scene certainly, but everything is being done concurrently. Witnesses talked to, because there were a lot of VTA employees that actually witnessed the event, and everything's happening simultaneously. But right now, behind us, the crime scene is still being processed, and we're being assisted by the FBI.
And yeah, FBI is here. Is the ATF here, or are they mainly only at the other house?
There were several members from the ATF here. I don't know if they are here. I would think that they would be, unless any kind of explosive, anything was collected. But they won't be helping process the crime scene, but certainly to take charge of any explosives, along with our bomb team.
And those people you were talking about who witnessed it, we saw them, standing by your county sheriff's office building, and then they were escorted. There was a lot of them. Are there any stories that you've heard so far from the people who may have witnessed this that stuck out to you? Because obviously this is something you'll never forget in your life. Anything that stuck out to you so far?
I did talk with the people that were direct witnesses who were at our building, but I didn't ask them any circumstances. I just gave my condolences. They were shaken. We were all shaken.
Yeah, because this is your community just as much as ours. And anything else you can say about what we can expect today? Because I know people are on the edge of their seats, just nervous and want to know.
Yes, what we've been doing all along in this, since there certainly won't be any prosecution if he's the sole suspect, we're putting out as much information as we can as we get it. But I think it'll be a while until we can really put the pieces of the puzzle together.
And speaking of what you just said, you think anybody was working with him, or does it so far seem like a solo mission?
You know, to my knowledge, no. I'm not sure if the investigators have found something else, but to my knowledge, it's solo.
And just lastly, it seems like a planned effort because, there were materials found in his home, in his locker. This looks like something that was unfortunately planned out and horrific and disgusting.
You know, my assessment's the same as yours. That's what it appears to be. No one goes to work with 2 loaded firearms and immediately begins shooting.
And did he have any grievances with his coworkers, or that's all now in the investigation?
And I don't know. I'm sorry. But
we'll be looking into that.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, well, you'll be investigating for a long time now, trying to figure out the motive. There's never any good reason for this, though, and we appreciate you joining us. Anything you'd like to say to the victims' family members who may be watching right now?
Oh, absolutely. My heart goes out to you. I can't imagine your grief right now, but the whole community is grieving with you.
Yeah, and we're behind them 100%. Thank you so much. That was Sheriff Laurie Smith joining us. We really appreciate you joining us, taking the time. They are so busy, not only the sheriff's office, but also the district attorney's office, the police department. They haven't slept. I talked to a couple of their staff. They haven't slept. They've been up just tirelessly working on this investigation. And as she said, they're still processing the scene behind me. So I'll send it back to you, James. Raina?
All right, Sarah, thank you very much. And of course, that just one of